Welcome back, everyone. In our last lecture, we explored how to deal with aggressive people. Today, we're going to learn something that will help you in almost any difficult interaction: conflict resolution tactics. Conflict is inevitable in both personal and professional relationships, but how you handle it makes all the difference. We'll discuss practical strategies for turning a conflict into a productive conversation and finding resolutions that benefit everyone involved. Learning objectives. After completing this lecture, you should be able to understand key conflict resolution tactics that promote understanding and collaboration. Learn how to defuse tense situations and guide conversations toward solutions. Develop strategies to resolve conflicts constructively, without escalating tension. Conflict is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to be destructive. When handled properly, conflict can lead to growth, better understanding, and stronger relationships. The goal of conflict resolution is not to avoid conflict, but to address it in a way that respects both sides and leads to a positive outcome. Active listening and empathy. We've talked about active listening in a previous lecture, but it's even more critical during conflict resolution. Active listening means giving the other person your full attention, showing empathy, and trying to understand their point of view. When people feel heard, they're more likely to listen in return. Example: if a coworker is upset because they feel overworked, instead of dismissing their feelings, you might say, "I understand this project has been stressful for you. Let's talk about how we can balance the workload." Focus on the problem, not the person. One of the biggest mistakes in conflict is making the disagreement personal. Instead of attacking the person, focus on the issue at hand. For example, rather than saying, "You're always so lazy," you might say, "I've noticed some tasks aren't getting completed on time. Let's figure out a solution to stay on schedule." This keeps the conversation focused on solving the problem without making the other person feel attacked. Find common ground. In any conflict, there's usually some level of shared interest. Finding common ground helps both sides see that they're not entirely opposed. This could be as simple as agreeing that you both want to improve a situation or achieve the same goal, even if you have different ideas about how to get there. Example: during a disagreement about a project direction, you could say, "We both want this project to be a success. Let's look at the options and find a way to meet both of our goals." Stay calm and manage emotions. Conflict often triggers strong emotions, and it's easy to let frustration take over. But staying calm and managing your emotions is key to resolving conflict effectively. Take a deep breath, pause if you need to, and focus on keeping your tone and body language neutral. This sets the stage for a more productive conversation. Example: if you feel yourself getting angry during a heated discussion, take a moment to collect your thoughts before responding. You might say, "Let's take a quick break and come back to this with a clear head." Use I statements. When you're in a conflict, using I statements can help you express how you feel without blaming the other person. Instead of saying, "You're always ignoring my input," try saying, "I feel frustrated when my ideas aren't considered because it makes me feel like my contributions don't matter." This shifts the focus from accusing the other person to expressing your own experience, which can lead to a more constructive discussion. Story illustration. Let's look at a story that highlights these tactics in action. A manager, Jessica, had a team member, Kevin, who wasn't meeting deadlines. Tensions were rising, and the situation became a source of conflict. Jessica wanted to confront Kevin, but she knew a direct accusation might escalate things. Instead, she used active listening to understand his perspective. Kevin explained that he was struggling with time management due to personal issues. Rather than blaming Kevin, Jessica focused on the problem and worked with him to create a more manageable schedule. They both agreed on a plan that met the team's needs without overwhelming Kevin. Moral of the story: Jessica's use of conflict resolution tactics, active listening, focusing on the problem, and finding common ground, helped resolve the conflict and improve the working relationship. Fixing a leak in a boat. Think of conflict resolution like fixing a leak in a boat. If you panic or ignore the problem, the boat will fill with water and sink. But if you stay calm and focus on patching the leak, you can get back to sailing smoothly. In conflict, staying calm and addressing the issue helps you keep the situation from sinking into a bigger problem. Moral of the analogy: just like patching a leak saves your boat, staying calm and focusing on solutions during conflict helps resolve issues before they get out of control. Follow-up assignments. Think about a recent conflict you were involved in. Write a one-page reflection on how the situation unfolded and how you could have applied the tactics from today's lecture to resolve it more effectively. Research one conflict resolution strategy not mentioned in today's lecture, mediation or negotiation techniques. Summarize what you learned and how it could be useful in your personal or professional life. So, let us know in the comments section that, have you ever used any of these tactics before? Or do you struggle with staying calm during conflicts? Feel free to share your experiences. Conclusion. That's it for today's lecture on conflict resolution tactics. In our next lecture, we'll explore how to stay calm in high-stress situations and keep your cool when dealing with difficult people. Keep learning, keep growing.